National Park Service is known for trails that go through the Rocky Mountains. They go through the deserts of New Mexico. And here at Grand Canyon National Park, I like to think that they're almost poetry. It's like reading a poem and thinking as I'm journeying down the Bright Angel Trail or the North Kaibab Trail, I've just hit the first stanza of the most amazing poem I've read in my life. And you wonder, well, what's going to be in the next stanza? To put your two little feet, to put your paws on that trail and touch it every step of the way, up or down or across the canyon, along the canyon, it is among the most special things you can do on the entire planet. The trails at Grand Canyon National Park have been here for thousands of years, but there haven't been as many mule feet, people feet, on those trails as there are now. We get over 6 million visitors a year. So many of those visitors enjoy the trails that we have to make sure we can keep them available for the future. And that means trail crews who come in and do rock work, historic wall work, who put in timbers. We have to bring these down on the backs of mules, who carry heavy equipment. It takes a lot of resources. And the Grand Canyon Association makes it possible for us to think of the trails of the future, to make sure whether you're in the back country or in the front country of Grand Canyon National Park, you can have that special experience by yourself, with your family, with your friends, and have that connection to Grand Canyon.
Working on trails is a way of life. Oftentimes when I get home, I feel like I just got hit by a train, but that's nothing compared to the feeling of knowing the legacy I'm leaving behind in the work that I do. The trails are the gateway to the vastness that is Grand Canyon, and it feels really good to be part of the community.
Well, if these trails were not maintained, I would expect the first real storm that we had, the first real monsoon, a large rock fall would fall somewhere and make the trail impassable.
So for example, the Grandview Trail, there was a big washout near the top where the old cribbing wall just blew out, and you couldn't descend any further, and this was within the first half mile. So the rest of the 3 miles of trail is completely closed off. And that's a trail that we do not receive funding from the federal government to work on, so it would have just been closed indefinitely if it weren't for the support of the Grand Canyon Association.
I'm really thrilled because we right now have an opportunity to be raising money for a Trails Endowment Fund. And that Trails Endowment Fund is so critical for the future. What that does, it's like a savings account for the trail and those trail crews. And then the money that is earned goes back into the trails so that Park Service, those trail crews, have an opportunity to know what it is that they're going to be able to spend every year into perpetuity to be able to protect these trails.
You always have little doubt maybe in the back of your head, is this money really being used for the purposes that we're giving it? And the answer to that is a resounding yes, it is. And you can physically see the results. And that's a very satisfying feeling, when you know you've been part of some of this work.
The trails will need maintenance forever. And you can't keep raising money time after time after time. If you have an endowment, you can have enough money flowing off of the endowment to keep the trails in perpetuity.
Well, it's a delightful thing to do. We get a lot of joy from supporting Grand Canyon Association because we know about the importance of the work, and we want to support that.
Just so much that the Grand Canyon Association does, and I have run into many, many rangers here that have said, if the Grand Canyon Association wasn't here, I wouldn't have a job. I love it. I love being a part of this association.
Thank you. Like, without you and your donations, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be able to maintain the trails, and then nobody would ever come in and enjoy the trails like they do.
Without your support, we would not be able to help the park in this way. If you love this place, continue to support it because it needs it. It needs all of us. This is our Grand Canyon.
Thank you.